Hello, my name is Nick. Today I will show you how to make a simple 2D character movement script and some zombie behavior using the Unity game engine. We will start off by setting up the scene with the game objects we need for this tutorial. I will use this survivor sprite as our player character. And I will use this zombie sprite for our zombie character. I will put a link in the descriptions where you can find these assets that I'm using. Let's take a quick look at the camera. As you can see, the sprites are rather small in the game view, so let's change the size of the camera to somewhere like 3. Yes, a lot better. So let's also change the background color a bit to make it look a bit nicer. Let's get started with some game logics. I already have a folder with some scripts. You can do the same by right-clicking and create C# script. You can attach these scripts by just drag and dropping them onto your game object. Let's get started writing some code by double-clicking the character script. In the character script we will need one variable for the movement speed. We will use a serialized field which will allow us to change the private value in the editor. Let's preset it to 5. Okay, now we have this variable. We can start by creating a function to move the character around. We'll make a protected void move which takes in a direction. For the direction we use a vector 2 so that we know what direction the character has to move towards. This function will contain some really basic, simple functionality. We create a new position, which is a vec2, equal to the current position, which is transform.position. After that we set the transform.position equal to the new position. Now we only need to add to the new position the direction multiplied by the speed to get some more control over it, multiplied by the time.delta time to make it frame independent. And that's it for this simple move functionality. Let's go to the player functionality to get the player moving around. To make the player able to use the movement code, we need to derive from the character controller. So instead of using mono behavior, we write character. Okay, let's quickly jump into the update, which we will use to move the player around and fetch the input of the player. Okay, so now we have the update function there. We can do vector to get movement direction, which will return the vector 2, so the direction that we will move towards. So we create the first direction is equal to vector 2.0, which will mean that we have no direction, and we return this value to to where we call this. So we use the move function, which we can use from the character, and we just use this get direction functionality that we just created. So now we just fetch the direction depending on the input. So we can do input.get axis raw horizontal for the x axis, which will return the A, D, or the arrow keys. And for the Y, we will use the vertical version of this. And that should be it for the player controller. So let's go back to Unity to test this out. Okay, so we're back in Unity. Let's click on the player and see. Oh, we have the speed component here, so we can change that. We change it to 1 and see how fast our player can walk around. Okay, so that all works, but it's rather slow. So yeah, maybe we can just edit its value. Yeah, we can edit it inside the editor while playing to see what the speed does. So let's change it a bit to 5 and see. Oh yeah, it's a lot faster now. Great. So yeah, that's it for the player controller now. Let's change the initial value to something like 3. That should be fine. Okay, cool. And let's get started with the zombie behavior. So let's go back to Visual Studio. So the first thing we do is change again the mono behavior to character, so we can use the movement functionality we created beforehand. And we create an update function for the zombie. We will also need an awake function, because we need to set the target of the zombie, which we will use a transform for. We call the transform target. We will make this private because we don't need anything else to access the data. And we will use the set the target equal to find object of type player, because we want the player as a target, and we get the transform out of it. Okay, cool. And in the update, we will need to fetch the direction that we want to go. So we say vector2 move direction, because that's the direction we want to move in, is equal to target's position and our position, which will return the direction that we want to move towards. That's the target. And we say move towards move the direction. And that's it. That should work. So let's test it out. Yeah, back to Unity. Yeah, okay, cool. So first we go to the zombie, and 5 is really fast, so let's change it a bit so that it's a bit slower than the player to like 1. Yeah, that should work. So we can test it out. And as you can see, oh, the zombie is moving towards the player. Great. That's what we want. Okay, cool. So that will be it for this tutorial. In the next tutorial we will look into shooting bullets with the player controller and rotating towards our mouse direction. Okay, well, see you guys next time. Take care, bye!